Mr. Schumer writes this book, Anti-Semitism in America. And of course, he's a trained scholar, he's an extremely smart guy. If you're writing a book entitled Anti-Semitism in America, you have to first begin by defining what you mean by anti-Semitism, basic definition of terms. And at the end of the first chapter, he writes, anti-Semitism means hating Jewish people and all things Jewish. Anti-Semitism just is, he puts is in italics, a portentous is. Anti-Semitism just is, has been, period, will always be, period. Well, the first thing that strikes you is a very stupid definition. It's like a teenager saying, anti-Semitism is what it is, It's
very rhetorically inflated.
Well, the second part, he says, anti-Semitism means hating Jewish people and all things Jewish. So in order to be an anti-Semite, you have to hate matzah, you have to hate challah, you have to hate Nathan's French fries, you have to hate macaroons, because you have to hate all things Jewish in order to be an anti-Semite. You have to hate the Marx Brothers, you have to hate Seinfeld, you have to hate the Three Stooges, you have to hate Barbara Streisand. Well, I do hate her, but I acknowledge she's a very gifted performer. In any event, why do I bring it up? So it begins with a very stupid definition, okay? But by the end, when he's talking about calling Israel a genocidal state, calling Israel a settler colonial state, calling Zionism as racism, it's very interesting what happens. Because the whole of his argument becomes, it's anti-Semitism because Jews feel it's anti-Semitism. It's how we feel. And where the language comes from, suddenly you get to crush speech on the grounds that it makes you feel uncomfortable. Where did that come from? I'm sorry, that came from the woke culture. That's our country. They're allowed to. For many Americans, the flag is sacred. It's the flag of our country. Our Supreme Court ruled, you have the right to burn the flag. It's called expressive speech. You're making a statement by burning the flag, and therefore it's constitutionally protected. You have the right. A fellow walks into a judge. He was I can't remember what his was. He wears a T-shirt, fuck the draft. Went to court, it was protected speech. I was a young man. I was a Maoist, follower of Chairman Mao. Mao Zedong, live like him, dare to struggle, dare to win. Okay? I'm 21 years old, fresh out of college. I'm in a Maoist sect. We have a newspaper, it's called The Guardian, right? Every week, we're calling for the armed overthrow of the government. That's what we were calling for. Not peaceful transition to socialism, forget that. That was milquetoast for us. We want armed revolt, overthrow the government. So when I sat in the office in our editorial meetings, of course, we all were concerned about agents provocateurs, FBI agents who have infiltrated our midst to try to get us to do something crazy. But none of us ever feared that advocating the overthrow of the government in and of itself was going to get us arrested. That was never even a thought. We understood in America, Maybe the ruling elites are crazy, but they decide we have the right to do it. And if you read through the jurisprudence, that was a very big issue, beginning at the beginning of the 20th century, where the anarchist communists have the right to advocate the overthrow of the government, the violent overthrow of the government. And our Supreme Court said yes. I mean, it took a long time. But eventually, that's the position that won out. So in our country, the Ku Klux Klan is legal. The Nazi Party was legal. In my day, a famous assassination was the assassination of the head of the Nazi Party. His name was George Lincoln Rockwell. We all remember it. It's one of those things you remember from your kids. The Nazi Party, one of the big cases was whether the Nazi Party had the right to march through a community of Holocaust survivors in Skokie, Illinois. Where are you from? I forgot.
Chicago.
Yeah, so you know the Skokie case. And the courts ruled in Illinois they had that right. Now, you can imagine that did not make the Holocaust survivors in Skokie, Illinois feel good. They would not feel happy about that. My mother was not happy about that. I was not happy about it at that time. I did not take the side of the ACLU. I was very angry. But that's our jurisprudence. That's our country. And then suddenly, when this woke culture set in, the criterion was no longer freedom of speech. It was feeling unsafe, uncomfortable, and unwanted. Unsafe, uncomfortable, and unwanted. Those became the criteria. How it made you feel. Well, guess what? I don't think Germans feel very good being reminded about the Nazi Holocaust. So maybe it should be banned in Germany because it makes Germans feel very bad. You don't like to be told that you shove children into ovens. That makes you feel really unhappy, unwanted, uncomfortable. So maybe we should ban teaching that. And I'll tell you another thing. There are many Catholics in our country. They don't feel comfortable hearing about terminating fetuses. They feel very uncomfortable. So should we ban any discussion of abortion? And that's the standard, the corrupting standard that's set in, so much so that in the spring, and I may have even said it in previous interviews with you, when the assaults on the college campus began under the Trump, with a Jewish supremacist billionaire class demanding it, either you crush the encampments or we're not giving you alumni contributions. It was a very straight blackmail, very in your face. And they were proud of it. They were boasting about it.